Hello, you are watching News Mongolian MNB World. I'm your host Jugdir Rambold. And for our top stories. Mongolia sets a parliamentary election date with movement and registration restrictions 60 days before the voting day. Government implements tough measures and harsher penalties for fatal DUI incidents. Military personnel and training officer registration to take place from January 4 to 19. For other news, stay tuned. Mongolia has officially set the date for its parliamentary elections in 2024. A draft resolution on setting the date for the parliamentary elections was approved, and as a result, citizens will cast their votes on Wednesday, June 28, 2024.
Notably, under the law on elections of the state Great Horat or Parliament, the polling day has been designated as a public holiday. However, a crucial aspect of the electoral process is the introduction of stringent measures. Movement and changes to voter registration will be restricted starting precisely 60 days before the election day. This 60-day period aims to secure the integrity of the electoral process by preventing last-minute alterations that could compromise fairness. Voters are urged to take note of this timeline to ensure compliance with the regulation. To facilitate transparency, the voters' list and information on registered voting districts will be available from April 1, 2024. This early release provides citizens with a few weeks window to verify and update their registration details before the implementation of movement and registration restrictions. As Mongolia gears up for this significant democratic exercise, the focus on restricting movement and changes 60 days before the election underscores a commitment to fair and transparent electoral practices. Citizens are encouraged to actively participate in shaping the nation's political landscape within the confines of these established regulations.
In a recent briefing, the Ministry of Justice disclosed enhanced measures for addressing the issue of unpaid fines by drivers. Effective immediately, individuals failing to settle their fines within the specified time frame will face a 50% penalty. Furthermore, a persistent refusal to pay the additional penalty will result in compulsory public service.
The new regulations aim to encourage timely payment of fines, reinforcing compliance with traffic rules and regulations. Drivers are urged to be aware of the revised terms and ensure prompt settlement of fines to avoid escalated consequences. The Ministry of Justice emphasizes the importance of adhering to traffic regulations and fulfilling financial obligations promptly. The increased penalty charges and the prospect of compulsory public service serve as a deterrent to discourage the evasion of penalty payments. In a concerted effort to address the grave consequences of drunk driving resulting in fatalities, the government has implemented more severe penalties for offenders. Effective immediately, individuals convicted of driving under the influence and causing fatal accidents will face the cancellation of their driving licenses for a duration ranging from 8 to 12 years. In addition to the license cancellation, perpetrators could also be sentenced to imprisonment for a period of 2 to 8 years.
Commencing this Thursday, the capital city will host the registration of military personnel and training officers, continuing until the 19th of this month. The registration process will encompass pre-service officers below the age of 60, men aged 18 to 50, generals, officers, leaders employed in military units, and contract servicemen. This broad inclusion ensures a comprehensive update of individuals involved in various capacities within the military structure.
Additionally, citizens who will reach the age of 18 in 2024 are encouraged to register in person at their respective committees. This step aligns with the government's commitment to maintaining an accurate and up-to-date registry, anticipating the inclusion of new individuals reaching military eligibility in the upcoming year. Authorities emphasize the importance of this registration drive, highlighting the need for timely and accurate data collection. This information plays a crucial role in effective military planning, organization, information and resource allocation. Detailed guidelines and information on the registration process, including the locations for in-person registration, will be accessible on official government platforms. The cooperation of all eligible individuals, including those approaching the age of 18 in 2024, is essential for the success of this military registration initiative, contributing to the overall readiness and efficiency of the nation's defense forces.
Please take a look at current affairs of Mongolia.
The Mongolian Taxation Authority has issued a reminder to citizens, encouraging them to scan the VAT barcodes from their purchases made during the fourth quarter of 2023. This recommended action is advised to be completed before the specified deadline of January 8, 11:59 p.m. To streamline tax-related processes, individuals are urged to scan the VAT barcodes of their fourth quarter purchases promptly. This measure aims to enhance transparency and accuracy in the taxation system, enabling efficient processing of VAT returns and facilitating compliance with tax regulations. To comply with these recommendations, citizens can use the eBermt application designed to simplify the barcode scanning process and ensure that the necessary information is accurately recorded. This initiative is part of ongoing efforts to modernize tax administration and create a more efficient and transparent financial ecosystem in Mongolia.
Please take a look at currency exchange rates provided by the Mongol Bank. Now here comes foreign news partnered with international news agencies. The loud sound of blasts rang over Gaza on Wednesday evening, with the explosions seen in the distance from southern Israel as heavy fighting raged in the southern and central parts of the territory.
Fears of regional escalation have grown following a strike in Beirut that killed one of the top Hamas leaders. Israel's air, ground, and sea assault in Gaza has killed more than 22,000 people, two-thirds of them women and children, according to the health ministry in the Hamas-ruled territory. The count doesn't differentiate between civilians and combatants. The conflict started after a Hamas attack from Gaza into southern Israel killed around 1,200 people on October 7th. About 240 others were taken hostage, some released during a ceasefire in November. Israel's campaign has driven some 85% of Gaza's population from their homes, forcing hundreds of thousands of people into overcrowded shelters or teeming tent camps in Israeli-designated safe areas that the military has nevertheless bombed. A quarter of Gaza's population face starvation, according to the United Nations, as Israeli restrictions and heavy fighting hinder aid delivery.
Dozens of volunteers helped to clear rubble and debris at a Kyiv residential building on Wednesday after it was struck by a Russian missile. Residents of the building were salvaging what they could a day after a Russian missile attack set it ablaze, tore up parts of its facade and gouged a crater next to it.
2 people in the building were killed and dozens were injured by the bombardment on Tuesday that also killed 2 other people elsewhere in the Kyiv region. The barrage was part of Russia's recent winter campaign against urban areas in the nearly 2-year-old war. It was the first attack in months in which an apartment building suffered such heavy damage in Kyiv, where air defenses have been strengthened since the start of the invasion. The whole family of resident Tetiana Slavita was badly injured in the attack, with her mother, father, grandmother, and uncle in a critical condition at hospital. My grandmother suffered the most. She has a traumatic brain injury. Half of her head is severed. She has broken bones, a fractured arm, and cervical spine. There is a full bucket. Now she is in the hospital on artificial respiration. I will go to them today and see what the doctors say. until my friends came to help because I honestly couldn't do it myself. I thank them very much. She expressed gratitude as friends and volunteers helped her to sort through the rubble of her home. Volunteer Violeta Bukina, who moved to Kyiv from Mariupol, said, I consider myself a very empathetic person. Fortunately, yesterday my house remained intact. There are a lot of people who need help. If people like me were free today, why not come and catch up?
FIFA President Gianni Infantino delivered his keynote address at the FIFA Executive Summit 2023 in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia on Thursday. FIFA President Gianni Infantino has laid out the organization's four-year strategy 2023 to 2027 for global football to representatives of all of FIFA's 211 members associations at the FIFA Football Summit 2023 in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia.
I think it is an important moment.
Ahead of the FIFA Club World Cup 2023 final between Fluminense FC and Manchester City FC in the Red Sea port city on Friday, the FIFA president added further detail to the plans to develop football he initially presented upon his re-election at the FIFA Congress in Kigali, Rwanda in March 2023.
The first time we organized an electoral congress of FIFA on African soil. Thank you very much for your trust, obviously. And we did much more, and we did much more thanks to you, thanks to what you are contributing, thanks to your commitment and your work. But now, of course, we have to focus on the future. And having to focus on the future, we have to see what our strategic objectives are for the next four-year period. I mentioned them already at the Congress in Kigali. I will repeat some of them, and you will be able to read them and to see them in our documentation. And of course, as far as this particular summit is concerned, whenever I speak or anyone else is on stage to speak, and there will be many guests coming up, feel free to intervene if you have any question or any remark that you would wish to make. In FIFA, in the new FIFA, there is definitely no taboo topic. There is no topic we cannot discuss about. We might not have the answers to all the questions, but we try always to do our best.
Please take a look at international current affairs.
Pope Francis says he is close to the people of Japan following a massive earthquake and airplane crash in the country. Speaking at his weekly audience at the Vatican, the Pope said, I renew my spiritual closeness to all those who have been hit by the devastating earthquake in Japan and also the victims of this crash between two airplanes at the airport in Tokyo. The Pope once more condemned war as folly and said it is always a defeat. He urged the faithful to pray for the people of Palestine, Israel, Ukraine, and many other places where there is a war. The Pope added that the world should not forget Rohingya brothers who are persecuted. The Tokyo Stock Exchange held its annual ceremony on Thursday to mark the first day of trading for 2024. A moment of silence was observed in memory of the dozens of people killed in a series of earthquakes that have hit western Japan since Monday. Also remembered at the opening were the 5 crew members who died when 2 aircrafts collided and burst into flames at Tokyo's Haneda Airport on Tuesday. The ceremony was attended by GPX CEO Hiromi Yamaji and Japanese Finance Minister Shunichi Suzuki.
All right, that's all for today. Thank you for staying tuned. We'll see you next time with more news and updates. Have a good day.